Hey there. Welcome to Heart Work, where we're all about cultivating connection one conversation at a time. So the other week, I was at this party, and inevitably I got outed as a couples therapist. And the most common question I get when people discover that is, how do we know when it's time to go to couples therapy? And if you've clicked on this video, you might be asking yourself the very same question. So let's talk about it. How do we know when a little outside help might be exactly what our relationship needs? Sign number one is chronic conflict, and more than just disagreements. So here's the thing, every couple fights, it's totally normal. And if you're in a long-term relationship and you don't fight, you're gonna have to tell me what your secret is. But there's a difference between normal fighting and that we're always fighting and nothing seems to get resolved feeling. If your fights seemingly get started over nothing and you leave those fights feeling so distant from your partner, then we might be in chronic conflict territory. For example, I've worked with couples who fight about seemingly small issues, who did the dishes, what we're gonna have for dinner, but underneath those petty fights are often deeper issues, like feeling misunderstood or disrespected or unimportant to their partner. It's not really about the trash, right? According to Dr. John Gottman, who is pretty much a legend in the world of relationship research, it's not the conflict itself that predicts whether a relationship will last, it's how the couple handles it. Chronic fighting, especially when it leads to emotional disconnection and contempt, is often the greatest predictor of relationship dissatisfaction. Gottman found that on average, couples are waiting 6 years before seeking help. That's a long time to feel stuck. Sign number two is emotional disconnection, or feeling lonely together. This one's tricky because you might not be fighting about a lot, but something just feels off. Maybe you're in the same room, but emotionally you feel like you're miles apart from your partner. Research actually shows that feeling emotionally disengaged from your partner actually activates the same parts of your brain that process physical pain. Isn't that crazy? Dr. Sue Johnson, the creator of emotionally focused therapy, which this is the approach I use with my clients, says that emotional safety is the foundation of a strong relationship. If you don't feel like your partner's got your back, couples therapy can be a game changer. Sign number three is major life transitions or trauma. Think about it, life throws some heavy stuff at us, whether it be a new move or a new baby or something as serious as infidelity. Those events can shake up even the strongest relationships. I once had a couple come work with me because one of them had lost a parent and they were grieving in different ways, and so we worked to help bridge that emotional distance and divide in their relationship. Dr. Scott Stanley, a leading researcher on commitment, found that couples who went to therapy during those big transitions had stronger, more resilient bonds. So getting help before things spiral can help you navigate those challenges together rather than apart. Sign number four is feeling stuck. Now, this one's a huge one. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, that you keep getting stuck in the same old pattern with your partner? Like you try to bring something up and it backfires and turns into an argument, or your partner shuts down. This reminds me of a couple I worked with that had a dance that they would do where one person would continually pursue, wanting to talk things out, and the other person would withdraw, trying to protect themselves emotionally and feeling overwhelmed. And that would just keep repeating over and over again until they came to therapy. This is actually a super common dynamic, and attachment science explains why. Emotionally focused therapy calls this a cycle of protest behaviors, where one person is protesting the perceived loss of connection in the relationship, while the other person is withdrawing in order to preserve the connection that they have left. Couples therapy can help break this cycle by helping both partners feel safe enough to engage in a different way. Okay, so real talk. There are a lot of myths about couples therapy, so let's bust a few. Myth number one, and one that I get all the time, is that if we go to couples therapy, it means we're broken. And that's just simply not true. In fact, going to couples therapy means that you care enough about your relationship to want to make it better. That's not failure, that's effort. I'll say it again, that's not failure, that's effort. Myth number two is that if we go to couples therapy, it's going to solve all of our issues. Gottman actually found that 69% of conflict in long-term relationships is perpetual, meaning that it's not going anywhere. The difference is that couples therapy can help you navigate those conflicts without wrecking your connection with your partner. And finally, myth number three that I get that's most common is that going to a couples therapy means that we're going to have to decide whether to stay together or break up. Also, again, not true. Couples therapy is about helping you get clarity on what healthy means to you in your relationship and what's aligned with your values. Lastly, let's talk about stigma. In some cultures, especially my East Asian community, going to therapy can feel taboo. There's this idea that going to therapy is somehow failing or airing your dirty laundry, but in actuality, you being aware enough to seek help and being willing to do something about it, that's courageous. It takes courage to do that. Dr. Sue Johnson put it best when she said, "Love is an emotional bond, not a bargain." Love is an emotional bond, not a bargain. Seeking therapy shows that you care enough about your relationship to want to make it better, rather than just leaving things the way they are. So, when should you seek out couples therapy? Honestly, if you're feeling stuck, disconnected, or like your fights are happening on repeat, it's worth considering. And you don't have to wait until you're on the brink of breaking up to seek out help. Think of it like an investment in your relationship that's giving yourself and your relationship a chance to grow and reconnect. If you're curious about any of the studies I've cited today, check out the description below where I have all the links. If you're curious about therapy intensives, which are these deep dive sessions to help you feel better faster, I've got a video coming up on that soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this video helped you or got you thinking, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content on building stronger relationships. And share this video with someone who's considering couples therapy. I'll see you next time.